Good morning, Internet. It is Friday, the 12th of February. My name is ᴜsᴇᴜ, and it is time for my weekly update. All right, let's take a look at what's happened in the markets. It's been quite an interesting week and month so far, at least for me. So just in terms of my performance, the month to date, we have made 8.7%. Year to date, we've made about 11%. My 6-month return is 36%. 2-year return, if you'd been copying me, you would now have a 151% profit. And if you had been copying me on Etoro since the first day that I joined, you would now have an over 650% return. So if you'd invested $10,000 or pounds with me then, you would now have 75,000 pounds or dollars today. All right, so that's enough about my stats. In terms of the news for the week, so I think there are a lot of themes that we have seen. The NASDAQ and S&P 500 have been more or less flat for most of the week and the month, but we have performed quite well. It's strange that the markets have been so flat because earnings have been pretty good. So this week we've had, for example, Twitter report decent earnings, not the best, but pretty good earnings. Uber also not too bad given the circumstances. So it is a little strange that the markets are just treading water. I think this is probably because of the fantastic bull run that we've seen in the markets over the past year and well, for the current year and for the past few months, roughly since October. We also saw Disney report earnings last night, and they really knocked it out of the park. I thought they would have a mixed bag because they would have done really well because of course they have the streaming service that has had a huge uptake, but also they've got a lot of brick and mortar parts of their business, including the parks that people attend in times when the world is open. But instead of being mixed, they just really blew earnings out of the market because of their streaming business and their online businesses. So I think this bodes very well for the future of the company because when the world does open up again, the whole business is going to be firing on all cylinders. Happy New Year. Happy Lunar New Year to those that celebrate it. So Lunar New Year means that a lot of Asia will be offline in terms of trading, or people will just be on holiday for roughly 1 to 2 weeks. So I expect markets to be fairly quiet because there's a whole bunch of volume that will suddenly be absent from the markets. We have also seen cryptos being on a tear. This is partially off of the back of Tesla buying $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, but others have also done quite well. Ethereum has been pumping, and ADA has been, I think it nearly hit $1 yesterday. I don't know if anyone's had a look at the ADA chart recently, but this is pretty fantastic in terms of growth. I didn't do a video update last week. I did do a post, but for those of you that do follow my trading, and if you join my Discord, you'll be able to see a lot of my trades open and closed in real time. You would have noticed that, these are closed trades. You will have noticed that I have been getting fairly defensive in the past 2 weeks, maybe more. So a lot of value businesses have entered the portfolio, and you would have seen me stacking up on VIX positions, which obviously are hedged against the S&P 500. All right, in terms of more general news, so the headlines are quite similar across the major outlets, the ones that I trust. So there are a lot of people talking about a rotation out of tech and into other sectors. China has, well, a lot of Chinese businesses have been doing very well in the last week, maybe 2 weeks, which has helped our portfolio significantly. We're still seeing a little bit of news about Reddit and GameStop, but that seems to be dying down a little bit now. There was a lot of concern about potential inflation in the US, but the numbers came out of the US earlier this week, and inflation seems to not really be going up at all. And this is going to stoke this is going to help Biden push through a larger stimulus bill, because if inflation is not a concern, then why not pump more money into the economy? Lots of headlines are around S&P 500 and NASDAQ, more or less sitting in place after the rally of the past few months. You'll see a few posts about Microsoft trying to buy Pinterest for $51 billion. This is interesting because Microsoft they're trying to change their image. I think they have changed the public's perception of their image a little bit through acquisitions recently, and it looks like they're continuing to try and go down this route. $51 billion is quite a lot of money, although Pinterest is known to have said that they would like to stay independent, so we'll see about that. Quite an interesting headline is that the UK economy has shrunk by the most in 300 years. So well done, government. You're doing a fantastic job. But the Q4 growth in the UK economy was better than expected, which is the same as across most of Europe. But because of our rapid rollout of vaccine, there is a pretty good chance that 2021 is going to be a bumper year for the UK. So I do look forward to that, and you will have seen me stocking up on UK businesses recently because I think that they have been unfairly beaten down over the past few years. In terms of commodities, so there's a lot of talk about a commodities super cycle. I don't know if I have anything open about that at the moment. And so commodities are cyclical. When I talk about commodities, I mean things like oil, gold, platinum, etc. And a lot of commodities at the moment are doing well for one of two reasons. Either there is a supply shortage right now, or there's an anticipated supply shortage. So when the world opens up, planes, ships, cars, etc. will be using petrol and oil again. And so the demand for oil is likely to go up. And that means that the prices will go up. And I think we probably will see inflation going up with that too. But that's for another time. Okay, in terms of the coming week, so things are going to be a little bit quieter. It's Lunar New Year, as I mentioned earlier. It's also, the US markets will be closed on Monday for President's Day. Although later in the week, there are a lot of companies reporting earnings. Some of them are quite interesting to my portfolio. I'll be watching for Palantir because it's not just that they're reporting earnings, but also the lockup period expires quite soon after that. I don't know the exact date. I'll also be watching SolarEdge. CVS is a value company I've recently added to the portfolio that looks fantastic for the long term. Baidu, which has grown nicely through the past few months. And also Shopify. I've got a small position. They're a high beta company, but they are a fantastic business. Okay, and just lastly, there are scammers posing as me in various places on the internet. This Instagram account is not mine. So if you see this account on Instagram, please could you report it? It's got quite a large following, and I'm worried what types of things this person is telling the 5,000 odd followers in the account. So I will never try to get you to buy anything or part with your money in any way whatsoever. And if you think that you're talking to me, please join my Discord or ask me on Etoro. I'm happy to, have a chat. All right, so that's about it for this week. Thank you for your attention, and I will talk to you all very soon. Cheers.